What's wrong, Mom? He's driving me crazy again. I can't stay under the same roof with him anymore. Can I come over? Yes, of course. You can come over right now. Rachel was fed up with her parents' constant fighting. But she couldn't change the situation, no matter how hard she tried. And now, she couldn't say no to her own mother, who once again disagreed with her father. Again? Asked Caleb, her husband, unwittingly overhearing her conversation. What upset Caleb the most was his mother-in-law's unscheduled visit, though he had nothing personal against her. It was just that on this Saturday night, he was thinking of spending a romantic night with his wife. He had even bought a token gift and a nice bottle of wine to set the mood. Caleb held Diana in high esteem, finding her company generally enjoyable. Despite her impulsive and outspoken nature, he found some aspects of her character admirable. He often wished that Rachel could embody at least some of her mother's wit and frankness. Unlike her mother, Rachel was more reserved and submissive, unwilling to show off her attractive figure or to openly engage in discussions on even the most delicate subjects. Soon, Diana was standing in the hallway of Rachel and Caleb's house, tears streaming down her face. Rachel immediately took her mother to freshen up, and then to the kitchen for tea. Caleb delicately retreated to the living room, deciding that he didn't want his evening to be completely ruined. There was a soccer match on the television, and he allowed himself to dissolve into it. He heard scraps of Diana's complaints that her husband had started drinking again, raising his voice and fearing he might even use physical force. How lucky you are to have Caleb, Rach, not like I was with your father. Mom, Caleb and I have only been together for 2 years, but you and Dad have been together for over 25. Don't be so sure we're okay. Thanks, honey. I'll keep that in mind. In 23 years, I'll definitely get drunk and start beating you up, Caleb thought sarcastically. At that moment, Rachel's father called. After a short conversation, Rachel turned to Caleb and Diane. I'm going to check on Dad. Things don't seem to be going well. He's been drinking a lot, and now he feels terrible. His heart? I don't know, but I'm not going to take any chances. I'm going to spend the night there. It's okay to change men like that, right? Caleb tried to lighten the mood. His joke was only appreciated by Diana, who smiled sadly and winked at him. Rachel glared at him. Caleb knew Rachel was having a hard time getting caught in the crossfire between her parents, and she probably just wanted a quiet evening without drama. When Rachel left, leaving Caleb alone with his mother-in-law, he tried to make friendly conversation. Diane, I'd invite you to join me, but I remember that soccer annoys you. How nice that at least someone remembers what I like. Thank you, Caleb. Relax and enjoy the evening. I already feel bad enough about disturbing your peace. Don't say that. Your visits are always welcome, at least for me. I finally have someone to share a few witty words with. Yeah, Rachel never gets my jokes. But you're good. Frankly, I envy her for grabbing onto a guy like you, Diana smiled. Don't overpraise me, or I'll get prideful and leave Rachel for you. Well, I wouldn't mind that. She's lucky to have a husband, unlike me. You're at it again. I was going to give Rachel the necklace tonight and have wine with her, but it looks like I'm going to have to give it all to you now. Oh, Caleb, you're too funny. But honestly, I'd prefer something stronger. Do you have anything like that? I do. Let me get some. Bring the glasses. After sharing a drink with Diane, Caleb went back to the soccer game. When he returned a half hour later, Diana was already in high spirits and enthusiastically pouring herself drinks. Caleb joined her, tipping another large drink into himself. "What did I do to deserve all this?" asked Diana suddenly. "This is it. Time for a heart-to-heart talk," Caleb thought. But out loud he asked, "What's bothering you, Diana?" "Well, it's my husband, his antics, everything else." "I'm not a bad person, Caleb." "You're one of the best women I know," Caleb said, complimenting her. "Really? Then stop calling me Diana Anderson." "Just Diana, please." "I'm not that old." "You're not old at all. And I'll drop the formalities. Just call me Caleb." Diana laughed, enjoying Caleb's sense of humor. "Now that we're getting closer, tell me honestly, am I still attractive?" "Do I have a chance of finding another man at my age?" "What are you talking about, Diana? Age doesn't mean anything. Many people prefer women with experience." She giggled, clearly appreciating his words, and teased, "Have you ever had a man like that?" "Is Rachel like that?" "No, but there's some truth to that joke about her. She's a little too uptight." "Are you sure she's my daughter?" "You're much more open, and I admire that about you." "Well, I'll take that as a compliment." "So, Caleb, would you like to dance?" To Caleb's surprise, Diana offered to dance. He couldn't refuse, knowing it would upset her after a hard day. He turned on some slow music and took her hand. They pressed closely together in the dimly lit room, and an unusual tension was building between them. Diana, feeling warm, asked, "Do you mind if I take off my sweater?" "Of course not," Caleb replied, trying to remain casual. As the dance continued, the closeness between them felt oddly familiar, though neither of them commented on it. Finally, Caleb said jokingly, "You're probably still hot. Maybe you should take off a little more extra." "What do you think I should take off?" Diana teased, playfully fixing her hair. "You're an experienced woman. You should know." "Well, Caleb," she grinned, "you're not a boy either." Diana playfully led Caleb into the bedroom, where she teasingly asked, "Do you want to help me figure out what's extra in here?" Caleb, feeling the heat building between them, paused, not knowing whether to keep the mood light or follow her lead. She stepped closer, and her hand touched his arm. As the feeling of tension increased, Caleb laughed softly, interrupting the moment. "Let's not get carried away, Diana." She sighed and smiled. "You're right." "But thanks for making me feel alive tonight, Caleb." They each had a glass of wine and laughed.